This is a big legal development. So tonight, Tiger Woods speaking out on his DUI case for the first time. He posted on X a short while ago, writing in part, quote, "I know the seriousness of the situation I find myself in today. I am stepping away for a period of time to seek treatment and focus on my health. This is necessary in order for me to prioritize my well-being and work towards lasting recovery." Also, I should tell you, the PGA Tour released a statement in support of Tiger. It reads, "Tiger Woods is a legend of our sport whose impact extends far beyond his achievements on the course. But above all else, Tiger is a person, and our focus is on his health and well-being. Tiger continues to have our full support as he takes this important step." Now, this is after a day of major turns in Woods' case. Just hours before sharing that statement, Woods pleaded not guilty to the charges stemming from his rollover crash in Jupiter Island last Friday. He also hired prominent Florida defense attorney Douglas Duncan. Now, that is the same attorney who represented him in 2017, this DUI case that he had. You remember it. It involved Woods being found asleep at the wheel of his running car, and a toxicology report showed multiple drugs in his system, including hydrocodone. That's a highly addictive opioid pain medication. Back then, Duncan helped Woods avoid a DUI conviction. He ultimately pled guilty to a reduced charge of reckless driving. He entered a diversion program as part of the plea deal. Now, here's what stands out about this. Just like the 2017 case, this new case also apparently involves hydrocodone. Why do I say that? Because earlier today, police in Martin County say that they found 2 white pills identified as hydrocodone in Woods' pocket when they interviewed him after the crash. This is according to a newly released probable cause affidavit. Now, according to the report, Woods told deputies that he was looking down at his phone, he was adjusting the radio before he clipped the trailer in front of him, rolled his Range Rover over. Now, deputies say Woods appeared lethargic and sweaty and unsteady with bloodshot eyes and extremely dilated pupils. Now, Woods denied drinking alcohol or using illegal drugs, told deputies he had taken prescription medication that morning along with ibuprofen. And after failing field sobriety tests, Woods determined, the deputies, I should say, determined that Woods was impaired. He agreed to a breathalyzer test, which showed no signs of alcohol, but he apparently refused a urine test. So he was charged with refusing to submit to the test and DUI. Lot to unpack. Again, I want to know, did he admit to guilt? Prominent criminal defense attorney Arthur Aidala joins us now. Good to see you once again.
What's up, my man?
I think it's interesting that he made that statement because talking about seeking treatment and that he needs time, isn't that admitting that he was on a substance?
Well, but he could be on a legal substance, right? I mean, he could have been on a prescription drug that, you know, a doctor said, look, Jesse, this guy is a legendary athlete, right? God knows the injuries he has. God knows the pain he pays through. We know, right? Wasn't his back? He had a horrible back. He had
tons of injuries, tons of surgeries,
so
tons of pain.
Not a doubt in my mind that these guys, a lot of them, are, you know, they're eating these OxyContin. You know how addictive it is. It's the #1 addictive drug in the country. It's killing people.
But that's not going to absolve guilt.
It's not going to absolve guilt unless, look, there's a lot of facts you don't know. Hypothetically, if at home he's got a prescription for those things, he said, look, I took them, I didn't eat, I was dehydrated. You know, he could come up with a lot of excuses, and he doesn't give a blood test, so they don't know how much was in his system. He's not DWI the way we know it, or DUI the way we know it. He's not intoxicated from alcohol. So, you know, but look, when you talk about his admission, what's the reality of this case, how it's going to wind up? He's got a great lawyer who's going to sit down with the prosecutor and say, look, the guy's in enormous pain. He took these meds. He was prescribed these meds. He didn't buy them off the street. And, yeah, he clipped a car and he flipped over. Let's get him drug treatment. And a lot of times what you do, a real answer is you have him plead to something like a misdemeanor. And then if he completes the program, he gets to replead and he gets a violation.
Even if he's a repeat offender, that would still be something?
Well, you know,
and it's a misdemeanor, but repeat.
Look, I don't know the exact policy of this particular district attorney, but look, let's face it, in the first case, right, it's not like he was driving 100 miles an hour down the highway and he was clipping cars. He was sleeping in his car.
This one's different because he could have killed himself. He could have killed someone else if the allegations are true.
Absolutely, and it should be a commercial for Range Rover that he didn't get hurt or he didn't get hurt. It's always going to, now it's going to be in the discretion of the district attorney's office. I don't think Tiger Woods is going to be going to trial on this case. I think he's very lucky. The PGA is standing up for him. That matters, right? Public sentiment matters. When I represented Lawrence Taylor, the New York Giants made it clear he wasn't allowed in that stadium until all his legal problems went away. Once they did, He was in the stadium.
But you would agree that statement doesn't necessarily help his case. Like, why would he make it? Right? You know what I mean?
No,
like,
no, listen, because people, look, having represented a lot of high-profile clients, it's their desire to be heard. It's their desire. I got to tell my fans. I got to tell people I believe in. They need to hear from me. They need to hear what my side of the story is.
So why didn't he just say, I'm so thankful for the great work of law enforcement. Thankfully, no one was hurt. This will be, I can't talk about an ongoing legal issue at this time.
Well, because I know this might sound crazy, but maybe he's leaning into the truth. Like, maybe he's like, look.
So I plead not guilty?
My back hurts, and I'm taking these drugs, and I'm probably taking more than I'm supposed to take, and maybe I'm swapping out some prescriptions with other people and trading, because that happens. And let me go in and see if I can wean myself off of them.
It would have been different if he says, look, I was just distracted, I looked the wrong way, I clipped. That wouldn't have been a DUI case, right? I mean, by going this round saying I need treatment.
It's on him.
Right, it's on him.
It's on, right, so that's
they
the evidence.
You think could they potentially make this case? Obviously, they can make a case of him refusing to take a test just because he refused to take a test. But a DUI case, even if they don't know what, they didn't do a chemical test, right? They didn't do
the cop's observation. The cop
they can make a case. They can make a conviction based on that.
Yes, that to my appearance, he seemed to be. Now it's up to a jury to believe it, or a judge if they waive a jury to believe it. But it's also, look, I think, Jesse, in today's day and age, I think there's a lot of sympathy out there for people who are addicted to these opioids, because it's like almost everybody knows someone, right? From like Rush Limbaugh to, I mean, so many people have been addicted to these things. So it's not like you're sticking a heroin needle in your arm and people are like, oh, it's like a pill that a doctor gives you. I sprained my ankle. The second I walked into the hospital, they gave me an Oxycontin. My wife smacked it out of their hand. So it's something that people, like, I think he's looking for a little bit of sympathy, and the PGA, plus he'll get, social media, he'll get a lot of, and that puts the prosecutor in a position to like, all right, I'm not gonna really hurt this guy.
Can he be legally prevented from ever operating a car? Getting behind the wheel of a car? I think maybe even him refusing the urine test could get his license.
Okay, so I'm going to just put on my New York hat. That's a year suspension in New York. I don't know the Floridian law. But look, the bottom line is, with the drugs on his person, unless he had a prescription bottle with him, it's an uphill battle to be like, listen, I was totally fine and I was just playing on my phone and I clipped it. They're leaning into the truth, and usually the great man said, the truth shall set you free.
You know why your wife knocked it away? Because you don't feel pain. That's
no, that's it. No, my ankle was this big.
Good seeing you.
You're the best, Jesse. Always a pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.